Hey y'all, Chef IrixGuy here, and I'm going to put my gloves on because this is going to be spicy. Within this video, I'm going to show you how to make scorpion burgers. You're like, man, what's a scorpion burger? It doesn't have an actual scorpion, but it's got that sting, man. So let's go ahead and put these on here. We're going to go through this step by step. And oh, and by the way, you can expand this video's description and then click the links there to find the various items that I'm using to create these wonderful and painfully spicy scorpion burgers. So the first thing you want to do is go to your grocery store and you can get ground beef, you can get ground chuck, you can get ground sirloin. I personally would spend a little bit extra and get the ground chuck. It's just better typically than ground beef. So get that. I'm going to make 2 burgers, which this is about a pound of ground beef. So each burger is going to be about a half pound. So what I'll do is grab what looks like about half of this, because this is a pound, so half a pound is about 8 ounces. I'm going to grab what visually appears to be about half of it. And let's see, I'll show you what to do here. Let's see. I'm going to talk and demonstrate here. So I grabbed what appeared visually to be about half of it, which is going to be about 8 ounces. You just kind of want to start doing it into a ball shape. And you don't have to wear gloves, but man, this is so much easier with gloves. And if you wanted to mix anything in with this while you're forming this, you could. But as you'll see in a minute how I make my scorpion burgers, it's pretty simple. I'll get a little bit more because I didn't quite get half of my pound. So this is going to be right at about 8 ounces. If you wanted to get really technical and nerdy about it, you could break out a scale and you could weigh your ground chuck or your ground beef or your ground sirloin. If you really want to get fancy, you could use steak trim and make your hamburger patties out of steak trim, but it's not necessary. I mean, ground chuck is good enough in my opinion. And one thing you will want to do though, after you form this in your hands for a while, and you want to form it for a while because have you ever gone somewhere and gotten a burger and it just falls apart? And it's like, man, that's pretty dumb. It came off the grill, it tastes good, but it falls apart. That's because somebody was lazy. They didn't take the time to ramble their trap like I'm doing here and form the burger. So now this is formed, and even if they did that, they probably didn't take the next step, which is using this tool, which I've linked within this video's description. Very simple, dishwasher safe. All you do is put your formed burger in there, and then look at this. It's magic. A perfect looking burger that's going to soon be subjected to the sting of a scorpion. Because these are scorpion burgers. So now we're going to get our other 8 ounces here. It visually looks like about 8 ounces. I think I did that first one perfectly. If you feel differently, comment below. Mean, nasty, vicious. I don't care the content of your comments, just so you say what you want to say. I mean, that's why I'm here. But this is about, actually I may have, yep, this seems like it may be a tad bit smaller. I may have put just a tad bit too much in the other, but it doesn't matter because these are still going to be 2 huge burgers. So like I said, don't rush it. Take your time. Form your burger. Using that ground chuck or ground beef or ground sirloin or steak trim, whatever you're doing. Like I said, though, nothing wrong with ground beef, but typically ground chuck's not much more expensive than ground beef, and I would spend the little bit extra to get at least ground chuck. And then once you hit ground chuck, it's like, well, if I spend a little bit more, I could get ground sirloin. It's even better. But ground chuck's good enough. Don't feel like you're taking the shortcut if you get ground chuck. If you get ground beef, you're probably taking a shortcut, because ground beef's typically not as good as ground chuck. But look at this, perfectly formed here. I'm gonna put it in my burger press. Absolute perfection. Look at that, a perfect patty. You know exactly what was in it because you bought the ground chuck or the ground beef, and you've just got it perfectly shaped. Now we're going to bring the camera over because I'm going to show you how we inject the scorpion into these burgers. Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting. So the first thing you want to do, and you can use fresh lemon, or you can use this lemon juice, put a little bit of lemon juice on them. And then a little bit of soy sauce. And then after the soy sauce, you can add, and this right here is a really good seasoning. I linked it within this video's description. This is the dry part of the seasoning. Now obviously for these to be best, you're going to want to marinate them in the refrigerator, preferably for a few hours, but optimally you could do it overnight. And then this right here is the secret sauce, the scorpion sauce. Depending upon how much you want those burgers to sting, that dictates how much of this you put on there. I want it super spicy. Now this is probably too spicy for you, so what I would suggest is try it out with just a itty bitty bit before you get aggressive like this, because these are going to be extremely spicy, but that's what I want. Now like I said, I've linked all of this within this video's description. Expand this video's description and click the link there to find where to order it all online. Tightly cover your burgers before you put them in your refrigerator to marinate for a few hours. Like I said, preferably let them marinate in the refrigerator overnight. And I do want to remind everyone, these will be extremely spicy, especially depending upon how much of this you put on them. So if you don't have a high tolerance to spice, use this sparingly. Maybe even sample this on crackers or something before you, before you marinate burgers with it. Check this out. I'm going to show you how hardcore I am. Whoa! Ah! This stuff is spicy.
Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.